Well, Melinda Ashley Howard was formally charged with felony theft and evading, though she was not the driver before the accident. Man's best friend may be able to do more than just roll over and sit. It turns out that dogs can also help children learn to read. I'm Rita Garcia. We are now putting faces with the names of the fallen. The fire department has released photos of the 4 firefighters killed in yesterday's motel fire. Yeah, Melinda, they're still in the process of trying to find out what exactly led up to today's events. I can tell you that we've been here all afternoon and watched as detectives have walked in and out of Dylan Quick's home. Employment among African Americans stands at 13%, nearly twice the average of whites. But is social networking driving the disparity? Well, Melinda, given a temporary injunction, these cheerleaders can actually hold these signs with these biblical verses, even if they wanted to right now. Well, Don, Melinda, right now we are limited to information because obviously firefighters have their hands full. I'm going to step out of the way so you can take a look at what's going on here. I've seen a number of agencies out here, a number of cities, at least 5 to be exact. And like you said, we are at a business just off of Highway 90. This business is called Living Earth. And again, I've seen a number of agencies. What's on fire right now are piles and piles of mulch. And from the looks of it, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it from a distance. We've seen firefighters actually on top of these piles. So it looks like the plan of attack is they're hauling all of their resources to the very top and then pouring all that water. So obviously a concern out here, mulch is a combustible, which is the bigger concern. So things can spread very quickly. And then you mentioned those winds are not working with firefighters right now. It has been a little difficult getting some information because they have their hands full, but deputies who are on scene controlling the traffic were telling me that at this point it does look like things are under control out here, or at least firefighters have been able to contain that fire. I saw a few firefighters on top of some of these piles of mulch, and deputies were telling me at one point they were on fire, so that's proof there that they have been making some sort of progress. However, deputies tell me that this is not going to be out within the next few hours. They do plan on being here throughout the night just until it's completely out and under control. That is the very latest. Reporting live, I'm Rita Garcia, Fox 26 News. A frightening scene in Virginia today when an elderly man plows his car into a parade. Take a look. Police believe the man suffered a medical emergency when he drove his car into a group of hikers marching at a festival in Damascus. Nearly 60 people were hurt. The injuries ranged from critical to superficial, but luckily no fatalities were reported. One Oklahoma town known for strip clubs says a local coffee shop is attracting bad business to the area. The owner of Joe's Addiction says her shop not only serves Java, but serves as a ministry to drug addicts and sex offenders. But the town mayor says Joe's does more than it's licensed to by attracting undesirable people. Isaiah, thank you. Heavy winds and breaking ice led to what's being called a mini glacier event in Minnesota. Take a look. 40-mile-per-hour winds pushed large shards of ice ashore and against townhouses at a nearby resort. Well, back here at home, not the case. We've actually had a gorgeous day, very fitting for Mother's Day, but let's take a look at the Fox 5 forecast. Cottage food businesses would have more leeway under a bill passed by the State House. Vendors would be allowed to sell homemade low-risk items like candy, nuts, jams, pickles, vinegar, and even dried fruits and vegetables out of their homes. The bill must pass one more reading in the House before heading to the Senate. Houston police say a 19-year-old man is recovering from injuries he suffered after a homemade explosive went off. Investigators were called to the 5300 block of Wild Blackberry in Kingwood last night. According to the police, the teenager and a friend had created a type of combustible mixture, and they planned to use it to blow up turtles in a nearby creek. Yeah, Melinda, Carissa Harris is a single mother of 2, and her dream is to earn a degree in radiology, and that's why she says no one, not even the alleged suspect, will get in the way of that, much less keep her from setting a good example for her daughters.
It's a scar, but it's a scar of beauty. But I didn't let him stop me from going to school. I finished that semester. I'm going back next semester. I'm not going to let one crazy person stop me from my dreams.
Despite a major setback and weeks of recovery.
Blood was going everywhere, and I grabbed my stuff, and I ran down the hallway. I started screaming at everybody, run, run, run. There's a crazy person.
Carissa Harris was one of 3 students attacked at Lone Star Cypher campus. It happened back in April when suspect Dylan Quick allegedly went on a violent rampage, randomly stabbing his peers.
All I pretty much remember is I just stopped and I looked for a second. I was like, what just happened? And the other guy, like I said, he had this weird smirk, this smile on his face.
This was the suspect?
Yes, this is Dylan Quick. He had this weird smirk on his face.
Harris's wounds required emergency surgery right before her mom took these pictures that we've had to blur. Since then, Harris has needed physical therapy. She can't lift her left arm and says it's more than just the physical wounds.
To my last dollars on everything. How am I going to pay my rent? How am I, my car's falling apart, my kids, my life. It just kind of all started crashing down. And I'm just slowly trying to build it back up.
But on a no-work release, Harris says she can't do much, only try to explain to her daughter why she has to continue school.
She doesn't want me to go to school. She doesn't want me to leave the house. She's having issues at school now.
While back at home, Harris is trying to keep it together, to not only set a good example, but prove that you can overcome anything life throws your way.
It wasn't just my life. It was, my kids, my daughter's father, my parents.
Well, with medical bills piling up, Harris says she does not think that she can continue her physical therapy, so now she's turned to the Victims Assistance Program, but is still waiting to hear back if she even qualifies to get some monetary help. But one way or another, she says she is determined to finish school.